Greetings. Welcome back for another week where we're going to focus in on embracing love. We continue using 1 Corinthians 13, specifically verses 4 through 8 for this discussion. I share those again just by way of reminder with you now. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. Love, indeed, is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. We have reached the love is not verses in this passage. They offer us, by way of the negative, a way to understand what love is. While it may not be envious, boastful, prideful, rude, or self seeking, it does celebrate others. This can be really, really difficult, especially when someone has received some form of accolade or award or prize or something that we ourselves would have wanted. It can be difficult to celebrate their accomplishments, while in our own hearts we're envious about what they have received. The passage also reminds us that boastfulness is something that is unbecoming in one who claims to be loving. Celebrating just self, looking at only what self has done, can result in belittling of others, the putting down of others, if not intentionally, unintentionally. Think of those times when you have heard someone share a story about something they've done. And then all of a sudden, instead of celebrating the joy that that person had maybe in achieving what they achieved, someone else comes in with a story about a time when they did something similar, but only to a greater level. No, love doesn't boast. Instead, it builds up. It celebrates the giftedness within others and their accomplishments. Then there's this thing called pride. Wow, pride can creep into our lives on any given day. It can do so so easily. It can mask itself as self esteem, when in fact, what it's doing is building self up to the detriment of others. This is the land of put downs and belittling, of, of looking at another and seeing that they are somehow lesser than ourselves. And therefore, maybe our ideas should carry the day. Because, well, can anything good come out of Galilee? Instead, love practices humility. It looks at the giftedness of another and it sees in it a gift from God, even if it's different than the way that we might have done it. Then there's this thing: no, love is not rude. It can be really easy to let our words and our actions get away from us, especially when we're tired or we're frustrated or we're hangry, as they say. We can be in a hurried state, and our words and our actions can become very unloving. Instead of seeing the other across from us as an equal human being facing their own challenges of the day, we can instead choose words that belittle, that tear down, that destroy. We can push our way through, which, well, it's kind of tied to pridefulness, right? Hey, I should be first. Instead, love practices graciousness toward others in both word and deed. You know, the psalmist once wrote, "May the meditations of my heart and the words of my mouth be acceptable to you, my God, my rock, and my redeemer." When we are loving, that is what happens with us. our words, our thoughts, they are acceptable to God. I've skipped over one last piece though. The love is not self seeking. There is no doubt we're to reach out and help others. Where it ceases being loving when we do so is when we're helping others so that we ourselves might gain something in return. That actually what we're doing is a means to an end of something that we want. That's not love. That's self seeking. Instead, love practices altruism toward others, looks at them and their need, prioritizes their need in such a way that it lifts the other up, and in such a way that the other truly experiences love. So, friends, as we move through this week and over the next few weeks, may we practice a love that celebrates others, that builds others up, that is humble, that is gracious toward others in word and deed, and that includes a matter of altruism that's not self seeking. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to God, our rock and our Redeemer. Take care and God bless.